Hello, this is Wmpyr. A longtime friend of mine who I'm just going to call David here, who's also, he happens to be longtime military and he had done a lot of martial arts training. He recommended that I go ahead and talk about this video, which I really wasn't gonna, I wanted to, but I didn't know how to do it. There was a video on YouTube by some famous people, and I don't want to go into who did it or whatever, but they posted a video on realistic knife defense training. I thought it was, fairly realistic. I thought they did I guess, a pretty good job standard-wise, but my friend David did not really think so. He saw the video and he was like, "Oh, they've been watching too many movies," is what he thought. Um, but okay, so I'm here to talk about what they did. And remember, this is a simulation, so it is what in their minds the way they think um, an altercation with a knife involved is gonna look like. All right. So this is a total of 8 panels. All right, and in each panel something happens. This is just the way that I took my notes. So in panel one, the attacker suddenly pulls out the knife, and they are inside a room. Okay, so it's not super small, but it is indoors. So it's not like you have a field to run away or in a parking lot, something like that. You are inside. So the dude takes out his knife all of a sudden, and it's fairly close proximity. And then for panel two, the attacker comes in with, I'm not sure if it was a stab or a slash, but makes a big movement to attack using the weapon. The defender blocks, and uh, let me tell you guys, okay, the way that he blocks, he's using the Heaven Six stance, the Heaven Six starting position. Okay, this is what came out, and I know in the past people have criticized me before. I mean, this is many years ago. Okay, I said to you guys that the Heaven Six starting position, this stance, is not just a reference for to help you get started in the Heaven Six to make it easier to learn the Heaven Six. No, I said it's practical. It's an actual stance. You could use it as a block. It has multi-purpose. It is a functioning technique. And some other people thought no, and they're arguing with me, and I was like, dude, if it doesn't work for you, like for you, all it is reference, then that's you. But for me, it's an actual technique. So that's you got your method, and I got my method, and right here, this is just another case where if you train it, it will come out fast. I can tell you that. I can guarantee it. If you practice it and you practice making it come out quickly, it will. It's a good move. So he blocks the first attack, the initial attack, boom. Okay, using this part of the arm. And then the attacker attacks one more time. So now we'll go to panel three. So in panel three, the attacker attacks again. And once again, I'm not sure if it was a slash or a stab, but it was another big motion. And the defender blocks it one more time. I'm not sure if he used the same kind of block, but he blocks it because it was hard to see. And then he goes into kind of like an arm drag position. Arm drag is a wrestling technique, freestyle Greco-Roman, Olympic wrestling. If you watch that, they do a technique called an arm drag. This one's a little bit different, but it's very similar, or I would say in the same family as an arm drag technique. So he's able to grab the arm deep, in other words, against his body. So it's not just like a wrist grab. It's boom. And like I said, it's a type of arm drag. And then panel four, the defender slams the attacker against the wall. So he just charges and slams him as he has the arm deep, slams him against the wall, and then he grabs the hand and bangs it against the wall. This is the hand that has the knife. And he's trying to make the guy drop the knife. Okay, so then the attacker retaliates by clawing the defender's eyes. So that's panel five. He's attacking the eyes, and this causes separation. And then for panel 6, we pretty much have to start all over again. Like I said, it caused to separate. It almost looked like after he clawed him, maybe there was a strike. Maybe I could not tell. But once again, it causes separation. That's the main point. So in panel 6, they have to restart. So the attacker comes again with another big attack. And then this time, the defender, I believe he blocks it. Once again, could not see what kind of block it was. And then goes into a catch, if I'm not mistaken. Or he could have gone straight into a catch off of the attack. I'm not exactly sure. But the catch is another deep one. It's not he's just grabbing the wrist. He's grabbing it with his body. Kind of imagine like they throw a football and you catch it with the body. So kind of this kind of catch. That's what he's doing. And then from there, he goes into an arm wrench. And if you're not familiar with an arm wrench, please watch Sifu Paul Vunak's Jeet Kune Do tapes, and he'll show you what an arm wrench is. The ones where he's going with, like, I think the 6 basic moves, if I'm not mistaken, in a street fight. 6 or 7 or 8 moves for a street fight, something like that. Or it could have been 12, I don't remember. But basic moves to use in a street fight, arm wrench was one of them. And to me, that was a game changer, an eye-opener. When I saw that, I was like, that move is awesome. And here, he uses the arm wrench. And of course, this is simulation, so I'm sure he couldn't do it full blast because it could really hurt somebody's arm. But he goes into an arm wrench and then once again slams the guy into the wall, and then they end up wrestling him down. So they're both kind of like wrestling, and the defender's on top. And from the top position, I can't say it's a full like mount or something, knee on the belly, or it's not a full jiu-jitsu position, but he's on top. And then from the top position, the defender goes for his pistol. He goes for his pistol, and now we go to panel 8. So panel 7 was the wrestling down. Panel 8 is he goes for the pistol, and the attacker, the guy on the bottom, the guy who had the knife, I don't know where the knife is at this point. It just kind of it just disappears. Maybe he dropped it. I don't know what. But he grabs the pistol. So the defender's on top. He tries to take out his pistol. The attacker who had the knife on from the bottom grabs that pistol. And then, but from there, the defender is able to use because they're on the top position, use the knee to pin the guy's arm, the one that was trying to grab, the one that did grab the pistol, pins it down, and then is able to free the gun and shoot him and finish it. Okay, so that is what happens, all right? So, in my opinion, I thought this was a fairly realistic take. My friend David's opinion was they were watching one too many John Wick movies, and I could totally see that, right? Too many Hollywood movies. I can totally understand that as well. And the reason why I decided to make this video here was my friend, what he said, and we agreed with a lot, was there were some really big holes in what happened here. And a lot of that has to do with maybe the mindset that you're thinking about that comes from Hollywood, right? So let's go back to, I'm sorry about the barking, just my security system here. But okay, so back to panel 1. The guy pulls out the knife, okay? And remember, you are in a limited space. Not, I wouldn't say confined, like super like a telephone booth, but it is definitely a limited space. The guy pulls out the knife right there. At that point, either you were aware or it was too late, okay? And if you were aware, then that's the time where you need to go in there immediately. And I have seen police officers who I'm pretty sure, my guess is that didn't have the training. Okay, they didn't have knife defense training. And if they did, I mean, it was probably like one seminar, two seminars. I mean, very, very limited. I'd be surprised if they even did a week. Okay, and a lot of times that it just depends, as my friend was saying, that it, like military, it depends on your group. You know, sometimes they take that stuff very seriously, or sometimes they don't do it at all. So anyway, the guy pulled out a knife. This is a completely different video, and this is real footage where the guy pulls out the knife, and then the police officer was able to grab, and then, you know, they got into kind of a wrestling match, but successfully defended against the knife. And if you're aware enough and the guy makes this kind of motion, you need to stop that right there. So that's number one. If not, and they caught you off guard, you weren't ready, you're going, whoa, what's going on? And the guy pulls it out, and now the guy's already attacking you. And that could be a split-second decision. If that happens, then to me, I'm running. I'm running away, creating distance. I want something between us, like a car, a telephone pole, table, and I'm looking for a shield. I am looking for a shield. Why? Because the explanation I could give you guys is because we could even, you know, and we go to combat sports, okay? And people go, oh, that's sports. It's not, this is supposed to be real life that we're talking about. Dude, all the lessons are right there in combat sports. If you have the eye, okay? Professional athletes, these are the people that have amazing reflexes. They are the best top athletes in the world. So I'm talking about pro boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters. These are Olympic caliber athletes, right? So these guys, when they get attacked, one of their primary defense is they have to shield. They shield, okay? And they're able to do that because the other guy's empty-handed. So it's empty hand against empty hand. Whatever they're using, bare knuckle, or actually it would be gloves, but it's their bare arms, whether it's an elbow, knee, or whatever. It's their flesh and bone that they're using, and you're going to defend with the same thing, flesh and bone. So if the guy has a knife, then I need to defend with, its knife is made of metal, so preferably I want a metal shield, metal, the same material, okay? So I need to shield. That is the bottom line. If they're attacking and it's too late, you got to shield. And in order to shield, it needs to be made of the same material. Sure, if I can't find something that's metal, like a metal pot or something like that, I'll take wood. I'll take a chair. You know, I will take a book. Even a book would be better than my bare hands. So I need something to shield with at that point. But if not, more ideal is I am aware that they're taking out the knife, and I can go in as they're doing this, and I can grab the wrist. That's what I want. So anyway, let's go to panel 2 again, back to panel 2, where he did the block, right? So I already explained that block is when if you guys are doing the Filipino martial arts, the Heaven 6, this stance, this position, over and under position, this, some people call it chamber, or a lot of people call it chamber, okay? In that stance, that position, practice it. Go hit the heavy bag like this, okay? Or have a partner hold a kicking shield and practice, or have them come at you with that and block like that. Practice that, okay? And then when you go out in the real world, always keep that in mind. Like, I'm doing a Heaven 6 with my fingers, and if someone suddenly comes up, boom, right here. I just did the block, okay? So I'm constantly practicing like that when I go shopping, grocery shopping, or walking at the mall or whatever. So you're getting the reflexes. Someone comes in, you know, cuts by real quick, and I wasn't aware. That's a great test of reflex. I just did my block right here. It would have been like this, okay? So get the practice in. So that's panel 2. So he had to block twice, okay, before he got the arm drag. I have now you're going to block as many times as it takes, but I really got a problem with that. If you're blocking, then at that point, and you got to block again and again, you should be thinking about creating distance. You should be thinking about grabbing something, taking off your jacket, use that as a shield, because this is not block and then I'm going to grab into an arm drag. That's very, very difficult. So now going into panel 3 where he has the arm drag position, I can tell you that once you get the block, to go from block to arm drag, I wanted to do this. And training in MMA, it's very natural. It's very natural to do that. Okay, you block their attack, and then boom, you go right away into the clinch, and you grab the guy. With a knife, with a weapon, it changes things. And experiment with my students, I could tell you that 70% of the time, if you do that, you die. We died 70% of the time. That is not good. That means 30% success rate. That is not good. And all you got to do is test that out. Have these guys, they should have had their students line up and then just go one after the next. Test it. And then you'll see that the percentage is very, very low. Okay. And that's the part where I think in Hollywood, it's successful. You block it and then you grab and then, you go in, do your MMA stuff. And that works. And in that mentality, in that Hollywood mindset, and this is where I'm telling you, 70% failure rate. So as much as I didn't want to, other self-defense instructors. So to me, if you look at knife self-defense, defending against the knife, right? When a knife is involved in an attack, the martial arts world, just look up on YouTube, you're going to see it's divided into two. There's this side and this side, two types of real world application. Number one is what we're seeing here is more MMA, where you go right away into the clinch and you get that arm drag, you control that arm, and then you put them in the clinch and do like dirty boxing type of stuff, right? The other is you grab the wrist. Boom, you control the wrist and you grab the wrist with both hands, ideally. Grab a hold of the wrist, okay? The grabbing the wrist, the problem that I see there is that, and all you got to do is experiment it. From the experiences that I've done is it turns into tug of war. So what that means is it's a stalemate position. Stalemate sucks, and that is not what I want, and I don't want to see who's stronger, but that's exactly the position you're in. You're both, doing this kind of thing, and the moment I let go, I'm dead. So it's very, very dangerous. So I'm holding on for dear life, and if they're twice as strong, they got 60 pounds or more on me, I'm in big, big trouble. They're going to swing me around, okay? So once again, it divides up into two. I'm not saying either one's totally wrong. To me, there's actually a combination there. And from what I found, my own experiments, is that you grab the wrist first. You need to grab it, okay? You grab the wrist, that gives you the control, okay? So once you grab the wrist, then you go into a deeper, like arm drag position. So it's just a matter of figuring out the order there. Grab the wrist, then the arm drag. And believe me, I wanted to skip grabbing the wrist because it goes into a stalemate. And I wanted to go straight into an arm drag. But like I said, you're going to get cut badly. Stabbed, cut, slashed. It was just way too risky. Once you include the wrist grab, it decreased the amount of that significantly. Now I would say it was actually more of a 60% success rate on your part, okay? But then the bigger part, how could you increase it even more? Well, what it had to do with was the awareness. The timing was extremely important. So when they're doing this, that's when you need to come in. If it's already out, unless they've paused for some reason, then you can grab it. But if it's already out and they're slashing at you, then this is the wrong time to try to go in, try to grab. You're not going to grab it, okay? It's like messing with a cobra. The cobra's already doing this. You're not going to grab the cobra, okay? That's why we call it defang the snake. This is a freaking snake, okay? And when they're coming at you with that knife, boom, 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 you're not going to grab that. So then what do you need? Well, we like against the cobra, you throw like a cover on top of it and then grab it when the cobra's blind, like a big old blanket. You throw that on top of it, right? So that would be kind of the idea there. So then, something like this can really help. You throw that like a net, right? So anyway, back to let's go back to number 3. Okay, if you're able to, with the right awareness, which leads to the right timing, you grab the wrist first. Okay, once you grab the wrist from there, it took me a long time to understand, because I hated the stalemate, because if you grab the wrist, you end up in stalemate. If you grab the wrist with only one hand, this doesn't last, okay? And that's why they're recommending the arm drag. But then people started getting lazy, or they go, you know what, skip the grabbing the wrist, just go straight into the arm drag. And that's what I'm telling you, that's the big mistake. So grab the wrist, both hands preferably, or even if it's with one hand, you need to immediately, then from there, you can go into an arm drag. And like I said, that took me a long time to understand that you could do that. And I'm telling you right now, it's possible, okay? So once you go from the grab to boom, you could go into now a much more secure lock with this is like the arm drag. And from here, okay, and now let me go back to the other school of thought where a lot of self-defense instructors teach. What do you do after you grab their arms, okay? Or you got a hold of now you have some sort of control. What do? They say, headbutt the guy, knee him in the balls, stomp his feet, that kind of stuff, right? And this is where I 100% disagree. Remember, the bad guy is bigger, stronger, meaner than you. And this, to me, this proves my point right here. Is on panel 4, he slams him against the wall, then tries to slam his hand to make him let go of the knife. Those are all attacks. That's to me the same thing as like kneeing the guy in the balls or the thighs, stomping his foot, headbutting the guy. Those are all similar. You're attacking the guy, right? You turn it around, now you're attacking the guy. And what I never ever liked about that is, think about it. Once again, the guy is bigger, stronger, meaner than you. They're cowards. So they saw you and thought, oh, this is going to be easy prey. So they attacked you, okay? So if that's the case, everything that you could do to them, they can do back at you too, because it's a stalemate position. So what that creates is an exchange. So that is, the proof of that is panel 5. Panel 5, what does that attacker do? They retaliate by clawing you in the eyes. And this is perfect because you slammed them against the wall. You banged their hand on the wall trying to make them drop the knife. This guy attacks you. He claws your eyes. He's more mean, just like I said. He's more of a street fighter. He's brought up in a different environment. You know, maybe he's been in and out of prison his whole life or whatever, but he is a better street fighter than you. More nasty, and that's exactly, goes for the eyes. Perfect. That is exactly what you need to anticipate, and that's why this totally, to me, this fails. This is not a good idea of banging them against the wall and all that. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying you put yourself in position to exchange. And I know 99% of self-defense instructors tell you need to attack. In this scenario, so that's what this guy's doing. He's going, okay, I need to attack. And what happens? Well, the other guy can attack back. So you're attacking, they're attacking. It's an exchange. 2 cars colliding. The bigger, stronger, meaner car is going to win. And that just doesn't make sense to me. And on top of that, they had the element of surprise to their advantage, right? You didn't wake up thinking, oh, I'm going to be attacked by a guy with a knife. If you had, you wouldn't have gone out. So you're caught in a bad position. This is a bad day for you, okay? So things aren't going your way. And you're going to do this, it doesn't make sense to me. So right here, being attacked, that creates the separation. Now you got to redo everything again, that is horrible. Now sometimes you're going to have to, and that's why you need to be in shape. Believe me, by panel 5, this guy's dead tired. He's going to be breathing hard. So this is why you do need to be in shape. And this is only a couple of seconds, really, all right? But And like I said, this is why I don't like exchanging. My goal is not to damage the guy, but if that's what you're thinking, I want to hurt the guy, I need to damage the guy, it's going to result in an exchange. What I would do once you get the arm drag or really deep arm position, what am I going for? My whole mindset is thinking only one thing, super simple. Defense, even more simple, survival. That's all I'm thinking. I want to live. I want to get out of here. So I'm looking to disengage. Yes, I'm looking to separate. It's like, dude, you made all that effort to go in close and now you just want to separate. Yes, I do. I do. I don't want to be there. So if I need to, I will hold on as long as I have to wear them down. And that is to protect myself. So the moment I grab their arm like this, think of it as you're in a gunfight. I'm looking for cover. And that's what this is. I am looking for cover. So even though I'm smaller, and even if I teach self-defense to people that are smaller, that's what you're doing. You're taking cover behind their weapon, all right? And you're becoming dead weight. They're going to swing you around. Yes, they will. And that's okay. I'm not trying to mow them against the wall. This guy has 60 pounds on me. How am I supposed to put them up against the wall, right? They're going to put me up against the wall, but that's fine. I'll be dead weight. Let them do all the work. Let them get tired, the adrenaline, all that, and wear them down. This all counts for discouraging, but I'm thinking of disengage. I want to get out of there. At the right time, though, that's the key. At the right time, I separate and I run away. But in the meantime, I need to live. So there is a threat on me. So I pin it against me. And then all the stuff that I told you guys about grinding and like heaven six on their face and all that, that is not to take out their eye or damage them or none of that. Even if I had a blade, none of it is to kill the guy or attack the guy or damage the guy. No, once again, I'm thinking about survival. So it's all there as a distraction, all there to take his mind off of attacking me. Okay? I'm trying to take that away defensively. And I can do that. Can I outstrike someone that's 60 pounds heavier and is mean as hell and has lived a bad life all their years on planet Earth? Probably not. Can I outstrike someone who's just a good street fighter and then they've been watching MMA or something? Can I outstrike this guy? Probably not. But can I distract the person? Yes, I can do that. Okay, I don't have to outstrike someone that's like a mini Mike Tyson. All I gotta do, and once again, I'm not trying to take out their eyes. I'm just trying to cause this, which makes them, at that moment, they're not attacking me. And that's what I'm going to be doing and looking for that moment to disengage, okay, and run for my life. And then if they're smart, they're going to be like, that was a fail. I don't want to. They probably won't pursue. Now, they can, but if they do, once again, they're a little bit more tired, okay? But it would be a bad idea for them because they've already failed at what they're doing. And the longer this stuff takes, the more vulnerable they are to being caught. So they don't want that either. They wanted a quick, steal or whatever it is they're trying to do. They wanted a quick, vicious attack on the prey. That's what they're looking for. And I'm trying to make that not happen. Make it as inefficient for them as possible and discourage them. But okay, let's go back now to panel 6 where they had to restart. The guy attacks him once again. And look, you could be good at blocking. You could have good reflexes, but you do it 10 times, 20 times, one of those is going to slip through. And all it takes is one. And even someone who is amazing like Anderson Silva, you've seen it in a UFC fight where he gets tagged. Okay, even someone with that amazing who could do crazy stuff like with no guard and be very close to the opponent and dodge their hits, even a monkey falls off a tree once in a while kind of thing, okay? So all it takes is one hit, especially if they have a knife. So the more times you let them slash and stab at you, the higher percentage they are to actually landing one of those or even partially landing, which is terrible either way. But anyway, he's able to once again go for a deep grab. And this point to me, it really looked, I'm going to agree with my friend here. At this point, it looked Hollywood. Maybe the guy, the attacker, who's playing the attacker's role, felt bad and kind of fell into playing a part. Oh, I'm supposed to make these big attacks again, even though he's doing it viciously and with some power there. It's more about the, yes, I'm supposed to get defeated now. So I kind of felt that, you know. And so the defender is able to grab deep and then goes into an arm wrench. Arm wrench, I'm all about it. I would do arm wrenching, but once again, my purpose of arm wrenching is a distraction purposes. It's not to break the arm. And look, I'll make it very, very clear. Now, if you wrench someone in the arm, is it possible that you could end the fight right there? Yes, I believe it's possible. Just like when Conor McGregor used his shoulder, boom, on a Cowboy. And that really, really was the beginning of the end of the fight when he bammed the shoulder. But most of the time, the shoulder strike to the face, you know, is a much, much weaker. It doesn't lead to a finish. Okay, so I want to make that very, very clear. So in this case, the arm wrench, please don't ignore the fact that it has the capability to finish. You could really wrench someone's arm, but most of the time, no. And in my case, it's total, I use it as a distraction. Okay, it would be very, very rare for me to use that as a finisher. All right, I just want to make that very clear. Okay, so I would be using that as a distraction, as a discouragement, and then look for disengaging. But in this case, he wrenches the arm big time, and I feel like that really turned the situation around, and he's able to wrestle the guy to the ground. Now we're at panel 7 where you wrestle the guy onto the ground. You're on top. You're the defender, and you're on top. This would have been not necessarily a bad time to disengage, maybe. But if I am going to take out a weapon, whether it's a firearm or knife or something that I have, maybe a tactical baton or whatever it is, if I have something to use at this point, a weapon for me to go for, I wouldn't do it at this time. My friend thought maybe, you know, maybe this is possible, maybe this is not. For me, as someone who trained in, BJJ, and my friend has too, so let me make that clear. But for me, it's, dude, I'm not going to do that unless I have a solid position, solid control. So that is to me a position before submission rule, okay? So even taking out a weapon, I wouldn't do it unless I have the position solid. And when I'm looking at panel 7, my friend said it's a tripod. Okay, so as long as you have a tripod, then you could go for your gun, and it might be fast enough to pull it off. I don't play the speed game, so that's another thing. Even though, you know, especially in a life or death situation, I'm playing extra safe. Okay, so I am not going for a weapon at that point. No, I'm going for better control, or I would disengage and get out of there. Okay, so anyway, at this point, he goes for the gun. So now we're at panel 8, and he went for the gun. And to me, that wasn't a good position because, you know, once again, if you've done BJJ, you know how quickly, even if you have the mount or a solid position, how quickly that could get reversed. Okay, so once again, unless I got the mount and I got solid control, I ain't going for a weapon. All right, I'm monitoring and making sure he doesn't reach for my weapon, make sure he doesn't go for his weapon. I'm checking that, and all the time trying to continue that discouragement, okay? Create a symphony of that. So anyway, this guy, the defender, goes for the gun, and then the guy on the bottom grabs the gun, and then from there, the guy on top uses his knee. So that's, you know, obviously he is a seasoned, he understands grappling because in grappling you do that. In MMA training, actually not so much grappling training, but in MMA training you do that. You pin the arm, and then now their left arm is pinned with your knee, and now you can strike them. You're like you can go into like a crucifix position, and that crucifix, as in not a submission crucifix, but crucifix for ground and pound. So that's pretty much the same kind of similar kind of idea there, that you could pin the arm that way, or set up for strikes, or in this case, he's able to finish with his firearm. So anyway, that's it for now. I know it's a long video, and I talked a lot of stuff, and I hope you're able to make sense out of some of that. Just my own 2 pointers. Look, overall, I think they are on the right track. I do agree with my friend. It is a bit Hollywood. But I can definitely see how they were trying to make this realistic. So good for them. But yeah, at the end of the day, all you got to do is you got to experiment stuff, man. You got to test it out, and they'll probably tell me, yeah, we've tested, but I feel like there was some key testing that was not there. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.